Welcome to this Grandma's Life podcast. I'm your host, theciaellis. Get ready to laugh, learn, and grow with me as we explore growing old in an ever changing world. Today is January 4th, 2024. Happy New Year. This is episode 52, and this is called Surgery Prep and Recovery. All right, farm happenings. Kenzie's been on Christmas break for it was out for a couple of weeks. She didn't stick around the house too much. She did a wonderful job of decorating the house for me. She decorates the front porch, with Christmas lights and stuff, and I really appreciate it when she does that. But then she has friends, and she's 17, so she has friends and does stuff. And a girl that used to live with us, oh, she lived with us for over a year, I think. She now lives in Tulsa, and Kenzie goes and visits her with her mother quite a bit. And so that's where she was for a lot of the weekend when she wasn't working and other that stuff like that. Basketball season kind of took a little bit of a break. We did have one scrimmage during that 2 week period, and Kenzie had a couple of practices. And so we got that, and I got a dog that wants to help me. But but basketball season's revving back up. We've got a tournament tonight that I'm gonna be attending, and basketball season's back in full swing again. The bathroom remodel. Oh my gosh, guys, that was been so nice, so wonderful. Those guys came and helped Tom lay down. Well, Tom did most of the flooring himself, but basically they had all. I took the bathroom apart and couldn't figure out how to put it back together. And these men came and worked. Well, Lee came and worked off and on all week, and then one day, two or three more men came and just blitzed it and set me up. And I love my bathroom. It's not done. There's a couple more panels that need to go up. There's a light fixture that needs to be put in, and some um, light switches and stuff. So there's a few things like that. But I have a shower, I have a toilet, and I have a lavatory bathroom sink. Sorry, I'm from Oklahoma. So it's beautiful. Oh, and it, like that. It's not only is it functional, but it's pretty too. I really like it. So I'm happy about that. I was going over my notes, and of course, obviously, it's been a little while since I've done another podcast. And apparently, on my last podcast, I had mentioned that Yoda, my runt pig, was sick and really struggling, and I wasn't even sure if he was going to live. And then the very next day after I'd done that podcast, I had seen a note where he's fine. He's doing wonderfully. There were several days that he wasn't eating at all, and I was having to go through all kinds of hoops to kind of keep him. Like one day it was all misty and rainy and stuff, and it was cold, and he's out there laying in the field. And so, those pig huts I made, I actually drug one over and put it on top of him, and was trying to keep him a little bit cozy with that. And the first day or so he wasn't eating or drinking, and then the second day he started drinking a little bit. If I woke him up, I had to wake him up, get him to come around and stuff, and then he'd go get a drink of water, and then he'd go lay down, and I'd have to cover him up again. And then like the fourth day, I can't remember what it was, he's up and eating and having a good time and feeling good, and he's been fine since then. I'm so very grateful. And so, I'm sure some of you are going, why didn't you call a vet? We don't have the money for a vet. We spend all of our money on animal feed and taking care of kids, grandkids, and all that other stuff. We got a lot, and we just don't make a lot of money. And was the runt, and he's been castrated, so he can't reproduce, and he's going to go in a freezer eventually. So I don't know. If he grows, he's still a little bitty thing. I don't know. He's about half the size of everybody else in his litter, but that's the way it goes. I mean, if there were if there's something I could have done, maybe, but I don't know that there was anything. So that's the way it goes. I planted garlic finally. I got a video that I finally put out on that one too. But I got some garlic in the ground. I'd really like to expand all of my grow beds down in that area with strawberries and garlic and asparagus and all that other stuff. I'll either get to it or I won't. There was a few days that my youngest little granddaughter was very sick. Poor little thing. She was puking with diarrhea, and she's got a good mom, but the baby was sick enough that they took her to a minor emergency, and they told her, oh no, she just has a stomach virus. Kind of let it run its course. And then the next day, the poor baby was so dehydrated and sick she couldn't even stand up. So they took her to the emergency room, and they said, oh yeah, she has a double ear infection, gave her antibiotics for that, and had to give her an IV because she was very dehydrated. Sent her home. She's still puking, still diarrhea. And I was over there for one time of it, and she's just miserable. She's a good little baby, but she was miserable and crying, and your heart hurt for her. And they took her back to the emergency room again, and that's when they discovered that she had strep throat. So they finally got her on all the right medicines. They got her taken care of, and she's 100% better now and feeling better. And we're all grateful because she was one little sick baby, and she's such a sweet girl. I know I'm a grandma, but seriously, that's a sweet baby. Okay, I had the surgery on my foot on December 19, I believe, and it went well. That it's We went to CityPlex Hospital there in Southern Tulsa. I think it's a Jinx address and stuff. It's a private hospital, but it's part of Tom's insurance, and Tom was really pleased at how they handled things. They even had valet parking, so all he had to do was just drop the car off and get me in there. And the same thing, picking me up. I'm drugged up and doing pretty good. I think they're getting better with anesthesia, so that you're not so drugged up and such in bad shape whenever you come out of it. I don't know. I did pretty good with that, so I was glad. The surgery went well. I did find out yesterday he didn't fix any of the torn tendons in my foot, so I guess I'm going to have to deal with that. But he did take out the bone spurs and the calcified knot in the back of my heel and stuff. So that's good. I guess I'll just have to deal with these tendons because I don't want to have another surgery. They put a bandage on it, big bandage on it for 2 days, and then a cast on it 2 days after that, after they checked the incision. And then yesterday I went back in, had the stitches pulled out and got a new cast in. The only thing is this new cast is tighter. And she told me it was going to be tighter. And and for good reason apparently. And it's been uncomfortable. It's not painful. It's not unbearable, but it's been uncomfortable. And I'm glad it's only for 2 more weeks. And I guarantee you guys, I have slept. I understood me sleeping the first 3 days because had been under anesthesia and stuff, and I slept almost all the time the first 3 days, and then I kept thinking I'm going to get up and be somebody and do something even on one foot because hey, I'm still pretty physically fit, but man, I could get up and I could do stuff, but then I'd be so exhausted I'd sleep for another day. So I don't know what my deal is with that. I guess I'm getting old. Um, it was a little difficult to turn my farm over to Tom, because nobody else takes care of your animals like you want them to be taken care of. But I will admit he's done a good job, and I'm really grateful for that. Every once in a while, I'll say, "Did you put grass in for Roger, my rabbit?" And he'll say, "Yeah, I did." So he did a pretty good job, and I'm glad. I'm glad, but nobody's died, so that's better than I could expect, I guess. Okay, that's it for farm happenings for right now. My three things. Oh my gosh, guys, I've been trying to get this podcast out for 3 days, and I've been sleeping. And yesterday I was just exhausted because I thought maybe I could go out and do chores, and I did it on the scooter, and it was just too much for me. The best thing I could do the next day was make the notes for my podcast, and so I finally got my notes done. I'm sitting here recording now, and I am grateful that that's done. So that's number one of my three things, getting this podcast done. Number two is I'm going to try to do chores again. This time I'm going to try to do it on crutches. The knee scooter didn't work out. I'm on a hill. The ground is very rough. It's so I'm going to try it with my original plan when I told people I was wanting to do chores is I'm going to do crutches, but I have a wagon out there and I can put the feed in the wagon and I can tie a rope from the wagon to my waist and drag everything out there. I still can't climb over fences and check for eggs and take care of watering. I can't drag the garden hose and stuff like that. So Tom will have to do that when he comes home tonight. But I can at least feed my animals, I believe. I'm going to try it with crutches this time and see what I can get done. And the reason I'm doing chores today is Tom's after 2 weeks has gone back to work. And number three is I have a basketball game to go to, and it starts at 4 o'clock this afternoon because it's a tournament. And so I'm going to try to get as much done as I can before I go to the game and before Tom comes home from work, so he has less to do. And I know it's time. I mean, I know it's only been 2 weeks since my surgery, but I know, especially since Tom has gone back to work, I need to get my act together and get as much done as I possibly can. So we'll see how that goes. I guess I'll let you know the next time how it went. I don't know. What I am reading, we're still working on The Happiness Advantage by Sean Acor, and this is principle number 5. It's called the Zorro Circle. How limiting your focus to small, manageable goals can expand your sphere of power. And I actually have to admit, I liked this chapter. I thought it was helpful. And so we'll get started on what I have highlighted on this. Speaking of highlighted, before I get down the road, I don't know what's going on. I've started a new podcast. It's called Books Highlighted because I like to read. And only thing I do in this particular podcast is read the highlighted portions of the book I've done. And I've recorded 2 of them. And it's on, what is it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's not in iTunes and Google yet. Go away, leave me alone. And so I'm not getting a whole lot of reach on that, but if you can see if you can find it on the other one. What's it called? I don't know. I'll think of it and then I'll tell you. So here we are with what I'm reading, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Acor, and this is principle number 5. How we experience the world is shaped largely by our mindset. Well, the most successful people in work and in life are those who have what psychologists call an internal locus of control, the belief that their actions have a direct effect on their outcomes. People with an external locus, on the other hand, people with an external locus, on the other hand, are more likely to see daily events as dictated by external forces. Believing that, for the most part, our actions determine our fates in life can only spur us to work harder, and then we see this hard work pay off, and our belief in ourselves only grows stronger. This is true in nearly every domain in life. Research has shown that people who believe that the power lies within their circle have higher academic achievement, greater career achievement, and are much happier at work. An internal locus lowers job stresses and turnover, and leads to higher motivation, organizational commitment, and task performance. Internals, as they are sometimes called, have an even stronger relationship, which makes sense given that studies show how much better they are at communicating, problem solving, and working to achieve mutual goals. They are also more attentive listeners and more adept at social interactions. All qualities, incidentally, that predict success at work as well as at home. On page 137. Once you've mastered the self-awareness circle, your next goal should to be identified with aspects of the situation you have control over and which you don't. When I worked with the Shanghai manager and his colleagues, I mentioned in the last chapter, I asked them to write out all their stresses, daily challenges, and goals, and then separate them into 2 categories: things that they have control over and things they don't. Anyone can do the simple exercise on a piece of paper, an Excel spreadsheet, or even on a napkin over post work martinis. The point is to tease apart the stresses that we have to let go of because they're out of our hands, while at the same time identifying the area where our efforts will have a real impact so that we can then focus our energy accordingly. Once my trainees are armed with a list of what is indeed still within their control, I have them identify one small goal they know they can quickly accomplish. By narrowing their scope of action and focusing their energy and efforts, the likelihood of success increases. And that's it for that chapter. So I don't know. I liked it. I think it had something to do basically if you feel that external things are what's keeping you from succeeding, then you're less likely to succeed. If you feel like that once you make up your mind to do something, that you can do it and you're going to get it done. That's basically, make up your mind and get it done. So I did like that. Okay. Oh, and it also reminds me of the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so, yep, I actually had that on my wall one time before I found somebody else wanted to gift to that thing too. What I'm listening to, I've not been listening to too much lately since I had my surgery because I'm not doing chores, and that's when I listen to audiobooks. But I'm still in. I'm I mean, I'm not still in. I finished the first Dune book, and now I'm in Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert, and going the second time through The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. Other things I'm learning is I'm also reading a book called The Emotionally Abused Relationship by Beverly Engel. It's as a research for a book that I'm trying to write, so that's something else I'm trying to learn. And my quote of the day: one of the things I learned the hard way was that it doesn't pay to get discouraged. Keeping busy and making optimism a way of life can restore your faith in yourself. And that is by Lucille Ball. And I was just about to say, believe it or not, but you know what? I'm old enough. I know who Lucille Ball was. I was raised on a lot of her television shows. I love Lucy and stuff back even when they were in black and white and everything. So I know who Lucille Ball is. I know some of you guys are a lot younger and probably have no clue who that is, but that's okay. Um, so Lucille Ball was born August 6th, 1911. That tells you how old she was, in Jamestown, New York. Her father worked for Bell Telephone Company, and she moved several times in her early years. But he died at the age of 27 of typhoid fever when Lucille was 3 years old, and her mother was pregnant with her little brother. 4 years later, her mother did remarry, and her step grandparents were some sort of religious group that banned mirrors except for the bathroom sink because they felt it led to vanity. And she actually even got in trouble one time because she got caught looking in the mirror, and she was considered um, having being vain because she was studying herself in the mirror. In 1929, Lucille Ball began her career as a model and also worked on Broadway under the name of Diane Belmont. She met Desi Arnaz and they eloped in 1940. In 1950, they starred in the sitcom I Love Lucy. And then Desi and Lucy divorced in 1916 and she married Gary Morton in 1961. Lucille Ball was nominated 13 times for Primetime Emmy Awards and won 5 of those awards. She received many honors and awards in her acting career. She died April 26, 1989. So, like I said, you know, it's something else that always kind of struck me about Lucille Ball, too, is I was going through some old pictures. Now, Lucille Ball was redheaded, and I think I read somewhere that she was not a true redhead, but she could do redhead pretty good because I saw her after she was no longer doing black and white. But she had a short haircut for a long time, and I was going through some old pictures. And when my mom was young, my mom was very beautiful, and she reminded me of a brunette, Lucille Ball. So I thought that was pretty neat. And my heater underneath my feet has just come on, and I'm sorry if y'all can hear it. The scripture of the day is, and my God shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:9. And you know what? That fits with what I'm saying today because it's going to go straight into my main subject about God providing of all of our needs. Um, I'm going to try to do this without getting too emotional, but I could not get my bathroom done. I kept working at it, and then I walk away for a while because I was intimidated. I didn't know how to move a wall with electricity in it, and of course, life gets in the way. I've got the granddaughter who has basketball and softball and all kinds of other stuff, and I'm there for her, and I've got my animals. And I had a lot of things going on, and I just did not get the bathroom done, and I was stressing out, knowing I was going in for surgery for my foot. I'm thinking I'm going to have to figure out how to get down the stairs and go to the barn to take showers. And the pastor's wife, because the only thing I did was ask her for prayer. And next thing I know, she's got people contacting me. Lee came and worked off and on and helped Tom. Tom was going to be on vacation anyway. He was going to do some deer hunting, but he ended up helping Lee with the bathroom. And they did. Lee's background was in plumbing, and so they got all the plumbing done in the house. To hook it up to the shower and everything, and then was actually getting the 2 walls put back up. They did several things, and then on that Saturday, 2 more men showed up and blitzed it. So before they left, I had a shower, I had a vanity, I have a toilet. Well, we had to work on the toilet ourselves and stuff, but basically the floor was laid and mostly glued down. It's not done, okay. The everything is functional. I need to put up a couple wall panels. I need to put some trim up. We need to finish gluing down the floor. need to put in a light over the sink and a light switch. And I believe that will then be all done. But it's functional and it's pretty. It's so pretty, and I'm so grateful because so much of my life I just wanted to make sure that something was functional, and I couldn't deal with beauty. But since I'm learning I want to include beauty in my life too, I really like it. I'm so grateful to these men for being able to help me with the bathroom and get it done before I had my surgery. I guess I kind of wanted to also cover some of the reasons I hesitated to have my surgery and why I decided to have it done anyway. I felt like I was getting conflicting reports on this foot. First of all, I was limping all the time and it's making my knee swell up, and it was really a problem. And then I did physical therapy for like 12 weeks, and my right foot responded pretty good. My left foot did not. It was going backward, and my knee was swollen all the time, and it just hurt. And so I was trying to decide, what do I do? The x-ray said that there was a lot of damage in there, a lot of calcification and everything. The MRI that they ended up doing said that yes, definitely there's lots of damage in there. Then I go see the surgeon. He goes, yeah, I've seen worse. I'm going, so what can I do to make it better? Oh, nothing, you need surgery, but let me know when you're ready. I'm thinking, I don't know when I'm gonna be ready, what do you do? So I had to come to think about it. He says it was going to continue to get worse, but it wasn't really that bad yet. He'd seen worse. Well, I am more active than most people, and I have not been able to wear tennis shoes for several months because I couldn't get my foot in it because the knot in the back of my heel was too big. And it was also leaving terrible calluses on the ends of my toes that were very painful because it was shoving my foot forward. And there's just a lot of work I needed to do. So I could either wait and get till it got worse and then get it done, or I could go ahead and get it done, get the surgery, go through the rehab again, because it is going to be a long rehab. He had to partially disconnect my Achilles tendon and cut out everything and reattach the Achilles tendon. That's the reason I'm in a cast for a month. Basically, I'm no weight on my foot for a month, and then after that, I can go into a boot. So I've got two weeks down and 2 weeks more to go, and so I did that because I knew it wasn't going to get any better and I wasn't going to get any younger. And I did not want to continue to hurt at this level and not be able to function at that level, knowing I wasn't getting younger and there was a lot of work to do. But then at the same time, I had to think about, all right, what am I going to do now with the farm? And, 1 month off of your foot is a long time when you got animals that need to be fed twice a day. And that is still a challenge. Now, Tom's done a really good job while he was off work and everything. He's able to handle it. But now he's back at work and he still does them in the morning. Oh my gosh, guys. And we got snow coming in overnight. It should make it really interesting too. I don't know if I can get out there either in my crutches in the snow. We'll have to see. But that's that's another little thing that has gone in there. But one of the reasons I also decided to do with it, I have been frustrated for many years with Tom. He has severe depression. He literally could come home from work, and has for months and years on end, come home from work, sit on his butt, fall asleep, and after dinner, and do nothing until it's time to go back to work. I mean, he doesn't bathe, he doesn't brush his teeth, he doesn't do anything unless he's going to church or to work. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to turn my farm over to somebody in this condition? Well, I won't lie, he has stepped up. He's done a really good job. He still, if I'm sleeping, he's sleeping, so he still gets plenty of sleep. But he stepped up and done a pretty good job, and I'm really grateful. So I'm trying to get back in the groove, but I guarantee you, every time I try to do something too much, I really struggle with fatigue and I sleep a lot. And so I was teasing last night though, because I'm having to lift everything up on one leg, and I told Tom, I said I'm going to have a bun of steel. But it's gone well so far. And actually, something else too is the pain has been very minimal. I've had not had but just one or two pain pills, and if things get pretty uncomfortable, if I don't put my foot up and keep my foot up, it gets uncomfortable, and I will take an ibuprofen. But that's it. I've been pretty good, so I'm grateful for that. My story of the day, though, poor Tom. I'm sorry for him because I'm trying to go. I'm not being stupid, don't get me wrong. But, like the very first thing I did coming home, they did a nerve block on my on the back in the back of my leg, so I couldn't feel my foot at all, which was great because for nearly like 2 days I couldn't feel my foot at all, and it was a good thing too because the first thing I did trying to get up the steps, and it's like a 40 inch, I think it's 40 inches from the ground up to the porch. So there's a few steps there, and it's wooden, and it was raining, and so and I was trying to do it on crutches, and the crutches were slippery, and I was still have groggy from anesthesia. And the first thing I did was fall on the steps, fell up, and I smacked my big toe on that toe, and I may lose that toenail. I don't know. It doesn't hurt, but it's turning black, and there's some issues underneath that toenail. But uh, so I fell then. I think another day, a few days later, I fell up the steps again. One day I scared myself because I was doing a friend has loaned me her knee scooter, which has been a godsend. I won't lie, wonderful godsend. But I missed with my knee and slammed my foot on the ground on the floor. And I thought, oh no, oh no, oh no. How bad did I hurt it? And I was sitting there going, it hurt, but I think I'm okay. I think it just scared me. So that part's been okay. But Sunday morning, I'm wearing a dress and I was trying to do the crutches up and down the steps again. And so Tom and Kinsey were both out there trying to help me get down the stairs to go to church. And I don't know what happened. I put my crutches on the next step down, and I was just about to step down myself. And for some stupid reason, I fell backward completely. Fell backward, legs go straight up in the air. Tom was really struggling. And I kept saying, I didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. In fact, I looked up at Kinsey. I said, where's the video camera? We should have got that one on. If I had one of those ring doorbells or something, that would have made fun of his home videos because it was pretty it was pretty stupid. But I didn't get hurt, but I could tell for sure that Tom was seriously stressed with that. And he told me, I'm going to get you to church. I want you to sit down. I know you like to go around and talk to everybody and have a good time, but sit down and they can come to you. Well, I tried to listen, but I didn't. I got a scooter. I could go, and it didn't hurt. So, but I do know I do not trust myself on any sort of steps at all with the crutches or anything like that. So basically, what I do is I sit on my butt and scoot up and down the steps. And yesterday, was the crutches is pretty easy. You can just kind of throw the crutches down, to where you want them to be, and catch them for once you get up there or go down there or whatever. But the scooter, I was kind of proud of myself because I was able to lift the scooter up the steps as I was scooting my butt up the steps when I was coming back from doing chores. I was tired though. And then I've got a pole that's part of the porch that I can get up on one foot or get up and pull myself up on the pole to come to a standing position that I can get down there. It's very tiring, but I can do it, and I'm proud of myself because I can do it. So, and I'm a lot safer than the crutches on the steps. So my question of the day is, so what are some of well, I've actually got two questions for you. What are some of your stories of surgery recovery? Do you have anything? Oh my gosh. And I forgot about one when my youngest son had surgery a couple of years ago. My daughter-in-law remembers a drug they gave him, but he was loopy. They had to do a lot of work on his foot. And whatever it is that they give those kids when they have their wisdom teeth pulled and stuff. Apparently, that was the same kind of thing they gave Tony, and getting him home from the hospital was it was a challenge. He's a good kid, and he didn't do anything wrong. He was just loopy as heck. So yeah. So tell me some of your stories of your recovery, and my other question is: has anyone helped you in ways that you that you have never been able to do yourself? I would not have been able to get this bathroom done, and I would have been figuring out how to get down to the barn twice a day, or not twice a day, getting down to the barn to take showers. And so, has anybody ever come and stepped up and does stuff like that for you? I hope so, because I'm so very grateful to these men even now. Email me theciaellis at gmail.com. Tell me some of your stories. Okay, I don't know if you guys have noticed. I think somebody said something about a split or something like that with Bitcoin and everything, but I've talked about the fold card before. This is a cool deal, and uh, cryptocurrency is gaining in not only in acceptance, but it's also gaining in value and stuff too. But the fold card is a prepaid debit card, and every time you use it to buy something, you earn satoshis, which are like mini pieces of Bitcoin, like mini, and so it's I like it, and you can it's a good way for you to accumulate some Bitcoin. I don't know how, honestly, this world is going to heck in a handbasket real bad. And I don't, maybe cash will be there. Maybe they may do a universal basic income. They may do nothing, I don't know, but at least you have an alternative. People want to save their gold. People want to save silver. Do all of it. Whatever you need to do to keep yourself going, and whatever happens in this world, to get it done. And the fold card is a viable alternative to what's as a way to get Bitcoin. It didn't cost you anything extra when you buy the when you make purchases with your fold card. You get the satoshis, but it doesn't cost you anything extra to get it. So it's a nice deal. Look at the link below and go through it. Check it out. Read about it, see what it does, and then if you decide you want to do it, go through my link below, and that would help me at no cost to you for that too. I pray that you give me a 5-star review. Go on iTunes and Google and all them, and give me a review, and if you whatever reviews I get, I'll read it on the air. We'll figure it out. All right, where I can be found is my website is grandmashomestead.farm. I have a YouTube channel called Farm Animal Life. I started a new one for Kinsey Lackey Sports. I put her basketball and softball games on her channel. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, MeWe, Twitter, and Rumble, and some versions of Thecia V Ellis, something like that. My main YouTube channel is Grandma's Homestead. That's the name of the YouTube channel. That's my main thing there too. So that's all I got today. I gotta go put my foot back up. It was fun. It was good to finally be able to reach out and talk to you guys again. I pray that you have a wonderful day. I've got some more stuff planned coming up. I still got to tell you about my word of the year. I got to assess how I did for 2023, and I got to set my goals for 2024. And I'm way behind because I've been sleeping a lot. So, all right, guys, live until you die, and God bless. See you next time.